Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Dave, and tonight we're joined by a bunch of nerds, and we're going to be playing some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Once again, Those Bastards, episode number 3. Megan R. Miller will be our Dungeon Master for this evening. And we have Nerditor Doug Vahovic in the house, Nerdarchist Ted as well, and we have our author and an author as well as Nerdarchy staff writer Stephen Partridge in the house. So welcome everybody. Now I'll turn it over to you, Megan. And I hear nothing. Oh, maybe it's on my end. Totally put on my headphones and turned on the wrong thing. My bad, people.
Anyway, books, Amazon.com, R is important or you won't be able to find me. So before I turn the world on, I'm going to roll this D4, and whoever it lands on is going to kick us off with the previously on. So, like, whatever you want to say about you, whatever you want to say about your character, things you remember from last week. And this time it is Ted.
Bad luck, because I am having quite a day, and I am totally lost with where we are. So if anybody else wants to take it, I will.
Do we have a volunteer?
I remember some things. I remember Unga single-handedly rescued the little girl that belonged to Tweezle, his new friend, but sadly enough, after us, encountering these Dragonborn, these evil Dragonborn, and freeing the little girl, the little Genasi, I now have to turn over Tweezle back to Tweezle's rightful companion. There was other stuff that happened too that Vint or maybe Prudence would like to weigh in on.
Okay, sure. So I recall that we began with Tweezle informing us that he had a little girl at one point, and that she was taken by who we thought were lizard people. Turned out they were Dragonborn, and we ended up navigating per Tweezle's directions until we found these Dragonborn, who happened to be the same Dragonborn we saw on the street previously, because foreshadowing, that happens. And so we ended up fighting off the Dragonborn. We killed 2 and captured 2, I believe. And we turned them over to the proper authorities because we are a good aligned party and do not torture people. And we rescued the little girl, and we got some loot in the process. And then towards the end, Prudence had a in-depth conversation with the brother that she felt had the most cunning and people skills, and revealed to him that she had been told by her mother that she was a keeper of one of these stars, and that the stars are actually hiding and are not in fact lost.
All right, Doug, have you anything to add? Okay, now you're muted.
Yeah, no, Doug is muted. Okay.
Just mime it.
Plug these back in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we also ran into a tiefling named Myth, who also bore our birthmark, and Vent gave her his carnelian stone because it matched her skin tone. He felt that was important to the quest of destiny. And the little Air Genasi girl, Litha, was taken because she was being used to help make monsters out of glass, which had previously greatly angered Vent, who enjoys the artistic expression of glass. And with Litha, they made a little glass figurine of a primordial rune representing air. And I believe we needed to find a map either to get to or of the actual Temple of Glass itself.
To get to.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Myth had the birthmark of the constellation on the tip of her tail.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
And Prudence actually yelled at or discussed sternly with Vent about just giving someone something that would allow them to scry or find us. Not a good idea.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I believe that when last we left our heroes, you were about to have a very important conversation. So do you guys want to do that before or after you speak?
I think we were on our way before, because
Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember that Galason said that he thought it important that we share it now.
Yes,
Alright.
that was not something to sleep on. That's if it's been this long, let's get it dealt with now.
All right. So you guys find yourselves at a table in the middle of the Babylon Candle, and like everybody else has gone to bed for the night. There's just Issa at the bar, and she's, willing to clear out and give you guys some space if you like really need it for this conversation, or you could meet up in one of your rooms, but you've got the room if you need it.
So we're all gathered here?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The candlelight does little to dispel the shadows.
So, Prudence sort of steeples her fingers and looks among her brothers, and she looks very, extra long at Galason and says, I have something I need to share with all of you.
What is it?
I have not been as forthcoming as some of you with me.
I attack Prudence. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
It is okay, sister. Just
Yeah, of course.
tell the information. And
My mother loves the stars, and she fostered a love of them within me. They are the most beautiful of the natural lights, and they span everywhere, all across the plains. And with them missing, it's been rather trying, but for my part, I have been informed that they are not missing but are in fact hidden.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. This is a new wrinkle in our quest.
So if we could get up there, we would be able to touch them. We just can't see them. Like a wizard.
Theoretically,
I don't know where they are, but I know where one is.
really?
I have it. Though I don't know how to find it or bring it out or whatever else. My mother simply told me that I have one and that I keep it, that I am its keeper. I do not know what that means. I do not know what that means for the other stars. But as for this, I at least know where one is, to an extent.
This is fantastic.
how does one hold a star?
I do not know. I feel its warmth. Sometimes it's a similar warmth to the fire that I hold. And she holds out her palm, and this orb of blue and pink purple fire just sort of materializes in her hand. It feels like this. And I know that doesn't mean much to some of you, but it feels a part of me much like my magic. And she just closes her fingers and the fire extinguishes.
Before you would go to do that, Galason would be reaching out to touch it. I don't know if you would pull it away or any of that kind of stuff.
No, she'd let you touch it.
Does it actually feel like? Is it producing heat to me?
That's a DM question.
Yeah, are you
So we're
good
talking
with
about
Prudence?
fairy fire.
No, it's produce flame.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I would go with yes.
So then,
This-
It is fire.
Yes.
so he would,
Wouldn't like
Galason
melt.
would reach out, and he's not going to burn himself on purpose, but as he gets closer and realizes that there's legitimate heat, he would pull away. It's So, how is that a star? I mean, that looks more like just magic.
It
Stars
does.
are magic.
Magic, you should know, dear brother, is a much more fluid thing than many of the scholars would have us believe. They like to put it into categories: druid, cleric, sorcerer. But ultimately, it all comes down to the same energy, the same force that holds the world together.
Well, I didn't pay much attention to the scholars when they tried to get me to study all of that with books. It was more of my mother's thing.
It's really fascinating if you ever. You see, there's this enormous shell of crystal that's around all the blackness out there, and then there's little affixed to the inside of it are a bunch of portals to different elemental planes, and that's what stars are.
Well, I will have
That
to.
What's that?
You're waffling in and out with your sound.
Oh, sorry. I will mess with that.
I will take your word for it, dear brother. Sounds
It's in a book.
bizarre.
I don't know. I thought sister meant, when things kind of sound the same, but they're not the same. What's it called? A metafrog?
I believe it's called a beta core. That's what
But I don't think
Yeah.
it matters. I have a confession, too.
Oh,
I didn't actually care if the stars disappeared. They just seemed really important in the event. So I didn't want to be left alone, so I followed him on his quest.
I would kind of. I guess Vent has a confession to make too. Like, honestly, I just wanted to find my family. I just thought that seemed like a convenient motivator. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, if we think that these stars have something to do with Father, then that is the only clue that we really have. So, one would think that would be where we start.
Yeah, but he's not really a good dad. Like, I don't know what dads are supposed to do, but I don't think they should leave. I'm pretty certain he's not a good dad.
there is something else.
What's that?
It does not pertain to the stars as such. Do you remember Myth?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Our sister.
I followed her
Oh, really?
when I left all of you for a moment.
That's great.
So you know where she lives.
She is staying at an inn, but before she walked into said inn, she met with an imp who discussed us. She thought we were buffoons, which may frankly be to our advantage at this time. But the imp seemed to have hired her to get information about us. And she looks very pointedly at Vent and says, and now she has a means of finding us.
Well, if she does, I've got to believe that whatever these bonds that make us all siblings are, will make her make the right decision when it comes to it.
I completely trust Vent. He has not stirred us wrong yet.
Ben looks a little like worried. Like, he's sort of faking it till he makes it.
Sin will walk up and actually, like, he'll place his hand upon your shoulder and, like, look you in the face as he says this, like, complete and utter trust.
So are imps bad?
They're from hell.
Oh.
I mean, so there's that.
Well, Prudence, aren't you kind of from there too?
Not exactly. Fiends tend to value selfish acts and tend to use rules and strictures to get what they want. At least some do. Others are just chaotic and like to destroy things. The difference, I'm not sure. I know that one is called devils and the other group is called demons, but I know not which is which.
Well, what if they want? They might want to. Do you think anybody would know about that star that you carry?
I do not know. My mother knew. She informed me. My mother deals with a great many people, usually in information or trifles that might seem unimportant to others, like a laugh, a dream, a memory. So, who would know about me? I do not know.
Maybe we all got people. I certainly feel.
You guys are, we are brothers, siblings.
Yeah.
None of you are trying to play the other?
What do you mean?
We haven't done any games so far. It's been all work and I don't know, traveling.
Prudence says that we've been played. I just want to
Oh.
make sure that the rest of you are not being also conscripted by said imp.
Well, if I was, I wouldn't tell you.
I mean, if that's not proof of his innocence, I don't know. Well said. Okay. I mean, if this imp's so curious about us, why don't we just go confront him?
I'm not sure how we would get in contact with him.
Are imps really big, scary demons or devils?
I've never met an imp.
They're usually quite small, about the size of a cat.
Oh.
We'll get one of those bird cages and stick it in.
I've got it.
I would be afraid of something so small.
Such things are usually messengers to much larger, more dangerous things. Imps are sort of the messenger birds of the hells, as I've heard.
Well, if we can't find this imp, then perhaps we should just head to that Temple of the Glass. And if what you said is true about my carnelian stone, it'll find us when the time's right.
Well,
we can do that, right?
We could talk to the imp if we can find it, or we could try to talk to Myth herself.
It's true.
Wait a minute. If she's spying on us, is it possible she's not even our sister?
That would mean somebody would have already had to know shared mark because she wore it. Hey, wasn't if those stars are hiding, maybe that lens that Alec is constructing will be able to see through their disguise.
Perhaps.
Alec. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought there was a clue. I thought there was an inadvertent clue in my notes.
I do believe I favor Sin's idea in that we trust Vent. Vent has remained our steadfast leader, as it were. And
I puffed my chest in.
And while your faith in destiny and fate and such things does baffle me at times, I cannot say that it is not earnest. And I think that earnestness is something we need.
I mean, it brought the four of us together, and I've never had as good a friend growing up or anything as you guys. I mean, it's got to count for something.
Most of my friends were more in passing. It was not until that fateful day that Vent happened to notice me while riding. that my life changed.
Well,
I didn't forget about midnight though. By the way,
me and Shelly did have Jeff for a long time, but Shelly's pretty sure he was just using us because we're big and strong.
do you think Sheldon's working for you? I whisper as I look over at Sheldon.
Can I insight the crab?
Unga definitely looks
gosh,
offended that you would even consider that, and he
I'm like,
hugs
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
hugs Sheldon. It's okay. Do you want a knife?
Sheldon raises the claw in the gesture that may or may not be flipping you off. You're really not sure.
I give Sheldon a dagger to comfort him.
Okay.
He just holds it in his crab claw.
So now you're insight checking the crab.
Why not?
When all else fails, insight check the crab. For sure.
That was a 22.
I mean, you're pretty sure the crab is being honest with you, but he hasn't said anything to you, so it's kind of hard to say.
He's inscrutable.
I don't think Sheldon has lied to me yet.
So is that what we want to do? Get a rest and then, or maybe not even rest, just go and ambush Myth.
I think that might be the best course of action.
We do not know her capabilities. She could be far stronger than we, even together.
I am still fairly potent with magic, and my wounds are not quite so bad. I mean, we could technically count this as a short rest, and those who were down on hit points could spend some hit dice. I mean, I only need to spend one, and I'd be good to go.
Prudence, how strong do you have to be to scry?
Very. Much more than me.
So
more than Galason.
So if she can scry on us, then she's probably pretty strong.
She may already be scrying on us. She may have seen this whole conversation.
Oh, then then she might be ambushing us.
She may, in fact.
Huh. Maybe that was all part of her plan all along.
I will stand up and look at the door, expecting something to happen.
And nothing does.
So I'll wait 3-4 seconds, and I guess we're not being ambushed.
Yeah, but if she heard us talking about being ambushed, then we know we're about to be ambushed. Then therefore she can't just ambush us right now, or she won't have the element of surprise.
Unga, you are the hunter of us. When you and Sheldon are hunting prey, how do you hunt them?
Well, it depends. Sometimes you can just go to where you know the prey's going to be at, and wait, and then once they come out, then you can get them. But other times, maybe you kind of track them and see where they're at.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Can hear you.
is it spotty or anything?
Oh, that is much better.
Okay,
is.
sorry, I unplugged the camera and all that stuff.
Oh, I know you unplugged the camera.
I was like, why does it say video? With the line through it. I'm like, damn, it's the wrong thing. I'm like.
On the bright side, we can hear you much better now.
Yeah.
Whatever everybody said they should do, I'm on board.
So, Unga, should we go outside and see if she is there waiting for us to come out? Should we go through a back exit? Or, should we try to plan our own ambush inside for when she shows up?
We should. I don't know. She's pretty crafty. Maybe we should just burst into her room and grab her then.
Why are we grabbing her?
Because we're going to ask her questions, I think. Or beat her up. One of those two things, I think, is the plan.
So, this myth person, do we think that there's the chance that she's not actually our sister?
I don't know. We're talking about like breaking, entering, and assault.
Yeah, but for good. Because she's kind of spying on us, and she's working for an imp, and
yeah. I mean, we've been around the block. There's probably lots of people on our tail.
Well, that's true.
I wouldn't say that we are.
Remember those theater people? That's those theater scam that we stopped a few years ago. I'm sure there's several people that hate us from that. It could be them. Maybe they're spying on us. Yeah. Sheldon, remember? You stabbed that guy?
Sheldon looks sheepish. And then when he thinks no one's looking, he uses the knife again and swings it through the air. Yeah, I guess you're right, but we could try and find out if she's really our sister or not.
That's a great idea. I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what y'all want to do.
So, really don't like the idea of someone trying to use this, this attachment against us.
Okay.
It does seem kind of crappy.
Do we need to come up with some kind of, test? Like, do we have to see if, marking is fake on someone before we confront them?
That might be a good idea. Maybe if there was only a place we could go and a person we could see who would let us know if they are indeed our sister or not.
Is there such a place?
I hear there's a wizard that does this.
Did Alec do that?
I've never seen him do it.
Oh. Hey, and he's really smart too, right?
Alec? Yeah. So you think we should grab Myth and drag her back to Alec?
I'm
No. I was gonna say we could, if she was really after information, we could sort of invite her into the spider's web and let her know that we do know an expert who knows a lot more than we do about what's going on, and that maybe, and if she doesn't know that we know that she if we don't know that she knows that we know that she's lying, then she'll just think we're as earnest as Prudence always thinks I am. So that way we won't have to abduct her. She'll just go with us, and then maybe Alec can outwit her because he's way smarter than me.
Well, I definitely like the idea of having a conversation and convincing someone rather than an all-out assault, especially if you feel that her magic is more potent than ours.
Well, I mean, we did just return several kidnappers to law enforcement. Just like an hour or two ago. It would seem kind of weird to them become the same criminals.
So, what are you recommending?
Well, I mean, if we want to go talk to her, just go knock on her door. We know where she's staying.
We can certainly be direct. However, we could also use a bit of intelligence on our side.
Sure.
Give me a moment.
You guys are real smart with that.
And I go gather up the candles from the tables.
Mm-hmm.
And I set them in a pentagram sort of shape and just trace it with my finger as this blue light follows it as I make this sigil. And then sort of FMA style, put my hands down on the table, and growing out of the wood comes this black cat.
My God, is that a wooden cat?
No, and it turns out of the wood into a proper cat.
It's a real cat? Oh,
Of a
did you
sort.
see that? He just made a cat.
Oh, a kitty! Oh, no, Sheldon! And I grab Sheldon before it can try and eat the cat.
He's just blowing bubbles underneath you, like, as
This
if I
is-
were ever going to be that uncouth. I just hear Sheldon's voice in the back of my head as being like this Victorian, like,
Yeah, like, he's like probably got like a 25 intelligence.
I feel as urchins we may have eaten a cat or two.
that makes sense, yeah.
This is a face spirit, and it will follow my requests.
I'm
Little
gonna
one,
get down like right up in its face and just like look at it closely.
and I ask it to go to this hotel and just look through the window, and I'd like to see through its eyes.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So I close my eyes, and when I open them, they look just like the cat's eyes.
Ooh.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I'd like to describe to my brothers as I see whatever it is that the cat does. Sees.
All right. So the cat probably going to go through the front door because I don't really, unless you're going to instruct it to do otherwise. But you like see from a very low vantage point as this cat like slinks through the alleyways and stuff. You know, there are a few people out, but like the streets are not as busy as they were during the day. They're very quiet, like only a few lanterns still lit. And so like throughout the streets, several different turns later, this cat like leaps up into a windowsill and like peeks in one room to a third. Like one of them's empty, a couple of them have like people in them, but eventually this cat finds Smith's room, and so you're like looking into this room through the cat's eyes, and she's like just curled up on the bed in this room in the hearth's home, and it's a very nice inn, you know, like the sheets are silk and everything, and she's just sleeping and kind of like tangled up in her sheets and everything. Like she wore silk to bed because fancy biznitch. Like, but she's just, you know, she's out cold and seems to be in a bit of a cold sweat, like just mumbling to herself.
Okay.
Are you describing that as you're saying it?
Can you hear as well, or only just see?
I think it's only C, because what the Wild Companion, which is a variant druid feature that I asked Megan if I could use, it lets you cast Find Familiar without reagents as a druid. So it's whatever Find Familiar does.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up real quick on D&D Beyond.
So after hearing Prudence describing that, I'm like, she's probably tossing because she's struggling with, you know, knowing she's our sister and not wanting to betray us.
Hey, Vent.
What?
Do you think Prudence can poop in her shoe?
In her own shoe?
No, in Myth's shoe.
I guess, do fae spirits have to, like, do they have, you know, normal functions like that? I don't know.
I don't know. It looks like a
There are
cat.
tails. There are tails.
It looks like a cat. Why can't it act like a cat?
Can you hear us?
I can hear through the creature's ears as well.
You can't hear us.
Right, because I'm
We're
hearing
just sitting
through
there like,
her
if you-
ears.
Prudence, if you can poop in Myth's shoe, do it.
No.
If you can't hear us.
I don't know how it works to simultaneously hear.
Now, when you take on the senses of the companion,
You're
your
blind and deafened.
have no idea what's going on around you.
Okay.
I also, is Issa like the only other person down here?
Yeah.
I'm like, Issa, do you got silk sheets there? This other place got silk sheets. It looks really
Well,
nice.
I'm sure it is really nice. We can afford that.
Oh. I didn't mean to imply anything. I was just curious. I thought maybe there was like, you know.
Oh, like I had like some kind of secret stash of silk sheets around here?
Yeah.
She laughs at you.
Prudence. And after that doesn't work for a while, I will shake her shoulders.
I don't think she can know that either.
No, I think you still feel. You just
Okay.
you don't hear and you don't see.
So I will close my eyes and open them as I dismiss those senses, dismiss the spirit.
Did you poop in
And-
Prudence.
Oh dear!
Can you poop in Myth's shoe?
No.
Why do you ask such things?
'Cause
Can you poop in her shoe?
no, but I'm not a cat, and I'm not a fake cat.
I am no fake cat either, as you can see.
What does this do to have a cat poop in the shoe?
It'll be kind of funny.
It is funny.
It would be childish humor if you happened to be there when she puts it on.
I'm a very immature 18-year-old.
I have tears.
Prudence is literally like hiding her mouth like this, just trying so hard to not let Galatian see that she's suppressing a laugh.
I was telling these guys she's probably fitfully sleeping because she's wrestling with her loyalty to us and whatever these impish. Hey, maybe they have some sort of compulsion over her.
Maybe she'll blame the imp. They're evil.
Did you look at the tail? Were the markings still there?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Were
the
they-
markings were still there. I feel like you would have been smart enough to think to look for that. So.
Are you sure?
I don't know,
Look
my
at this group you're
intelligence is a
talking
10.
Oh,
That's
that's
average.
average.
Yeah,
Okay.
I forget stuff 1 minute after I intend to do it too.
Okay. Well, then yes, she did still have the marking in spite of being asleep, so any illusion she would have cast, at least if it were a lower level, would have dissipated.
Now, did she still have the stone when you observed her with the imp? Or did she give the imp the stone?
She still had the stone.
Did you steal it from her?
No. We
Are
were
you
talking about confronting her directly. I was merely gaining information. She was not scrying on us. She was sleeping.
You know, you guys got kind of mad when you found out she was spying on us. If we confront her, doesn't that mean we're spying on her? So she's going to get mad?
That's what I'm saying. Hey, let me ask you this, like out of character. Did she give the stone to the imp, or did she just tell it that?
She just told it the thing, but she kept the stone for herself.
All right.
Yeah, I had seen that last time.
Then I'm convinced she's probably being bullied by them. She probably kept the stone so that she could call for our help when she needed it.
Wait a minute, Vin, you think she's being bullied by the imp?
Maybe.
It's like this big, you guys said.
Who knows? Hey, man.
But our
Fiendish
dear
powers
sister
come in
says
small
that-
packages, you know what I mean?
But our dear sister says that they represent bigger things.
Yeah.
So if there's a bigger creature that perhaps she owes fealty to, or is, putting leverage against her.
Oh.
Be a Bambian or a succubus.
I heard of one of our gang members. Well, we weren't really a gang, but our group, disappeared and went away. Talia, I heard she made a deal and became one of those warlocks. Do you think she's one of those?
It is possible.
She could be like an art warlock, so that
serves
to
the
make
Dark
her.
Lord.
Yes, she serves the Dark Lord to make better art, and now he's making her spy on us.
Well, then we have to save her.
What about her was there anything to do with art?
She had tools.
Yeah,
she
she
said
was
she was a sculptor.
sculptor. Right? Wasn't she a sculptor?
Yeah, I believe
Like
so.
a well-known one, right? Or, the
How do you?
successful one.
That's how she got well known.
Oh my god.
Is that where the expression
And City of Brass, you're a genius. Hey, were you a street tough Unga? Like those earth elementals?
He kind of looks a little sheepish. Well, sometimes. I didn't like it though.
Hmm.
But if you didn't, If you didn't stand up for yourself and they didn't think you were stronger, then they would try and take your stuff.
Perhaps that's a lesson that Myth needs to learn from us.
So we should take her stuff?
Let's go talk to her. No, that she should stand up for herself.
Or that, she could rely on reliable companions as opposed to going into places with darkness.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we go get the feather, we can prove that we're not buffoons, and then she'll trust us.
Oh, I like that.
Perhaps. And perhaps things will simply resolve themselves after we do what we had already intended. After all, Vent did suggest that destiny is on our side, and that it would bring us together again. And as Galason said, he has not led us astray thus far.
Now, he has not led us astray. Let's not levy extra harsh words.
Well, yeah, we've been going in the same direction for like 2 years now. That way. And the Temple of Glass is that way too. And the feather.
I mean, we did do some things along the way. We helped out theater people, and we
saved that little girl.
We saved a little girl. We got the amulet back.
We took out Bird Eater.
We took out
We
Bird
did.
Eater.
We saved an entire canopy village of Aarakocra. Let's give ourselves those bastards a pat on the back.
Yeah, we'll go get the feather, and we'll come back, and we'll put together a list of things we've done, and then Myth will have to know we're not buffoons.
My mother, she always had this saying, if you have to inform someone of something, it's not likely true. Things should be self-evident.
Your
Just
mom
think.
seems
Have
really
to make
smart.
a list.
I don't follow your meaning.
We don't have to make a list because our mere awesomeness will exude off of us.
So, confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, confidence and competence in equal measure.
Well, I've already got that.
Dear brother, your scales are tipped.
No, the Dragonborn had the scales.
And she just sort of like
It's
smirks.
a metafrog, Sin. It's a metafrog.
Oh, because I was also going to say...
I thought you said it was a beta form.
I don't know. We're workshopping it.
Can I just shoot Issa a knowing glance across the room?
She's just smiling and listening to this conversation like this is the most delightful thing in the world.
Galason would, kind of look over and try to, see if he could read what she's got going on.
Give me an insight check, Gleason.
You get whispers. She's a fiend. She's a pit fiend.
15.
She's checking your sister out, dude.
Okay. So I'll as over the next couple of minutes, I'll slide over to Prudence and give her an elbow and an eye looky.
Oh, I'm quite aware. Did you miss it earlier?
Miss what?
Yeah.
And then she just sort of like stays quiet, presses her lips together, and gives you a smile. And with that, Prudence would like to leave the table, go up to where the bar is, and just as she's going to her room, casually like palm her key to her room back onto the countertop, and then walk up the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, you will be joined up there eventually. That's absolutely going to be a thing.
I didn't realize she was being sarcastic, so I'll be like, I'll take that Silk Sheets upgrade.
It's going to take me a couple of days to get that in order, but, see about
Probably
your
by the
feather,
time
and we'll
we
see
get back.
about your sheets.
By the time we get back, you are the best innkeeper.
She just smiles and gives a nod, and she actually, will, make an attempt to get some sheets in here, because,
Awesome. See, I got his ass. Honesty.
So no, whether he saw Prudence, go over and palm the key or not, he's Galason is pretty confident that message has been received, and he is not one to get in the way. So he would absolutely, do whatever it took to, end the conversation to allow Issa to go about her business, as you will.
You're gonna totally wingman.
Yeah.
Best wingman Galason.
Yes.
He's like, you guys look awfully tired. You should go to bed. I don't want to go to bed.
Is Unga the little brother that just wants to stay up till 4 a.m?
I think so.
Well, if we've got a long journey to find this, find a map, find this temple, I think being well rested would serve us well.
I guess so. And I guess we'll head up to our rooms.
All right. So the next day, like the Babylon Candle has got its like usual group of goths just kind of like hanging out in the room down there, like playing their cards, rattling the bones, all that. What is your first order of business?
Map.
All right. That is actually not as hard as you anticipated it was going to be. It's just a matter of like going to the cartographer.
Well, I was gonna actually use some mage hand and prestidigitations to kind of get some magic mojo going and see what information I might be able to get out of these goths that keep hanging around.
Well, while you do that, me and Vint will go get the map.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, so what are you trying to find out from the goths that are hanging around?
Well, I mean, part of it was anything about a map or about this Temple of Glass, but failing that, any information, if there's any, about this sculptor by the name of Myth.
All right. So give me a persuasion check.
I can.
And with advantage because you're kind of goth yourself.
Let's actually look at the right skill. So that's going to be a 24, 19 on the die.
All right. So they don't know a whole lot about Myth, but one of them did hear a rumor that somebody tried to get fresh with her at the Hearth's home and that she glowed at him pretty good. That it seemed to hurt the guy enough that he left her alone from then on, but like they're not really sure what that means because she doesn't really look like the paladin type.
She glowed at them really hard.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
Yeah, like she flashed, like lit up like a candle, and then he just kind of ducked back like he'd been burned or something. It was real weird.
Am I able to make any kind of check on that? I'm not proficient in Arcana.
You may have seen Prudence do it.
I don't know. Are you supposed to be able to make an Arcana check untrained?
Up to you.
Yeah, go for it.
I believe yes. You never know.
Wow, that is a natural 20, so 19.
All right. Well, it occurs to you to ask what color the light was.
Okay.
And when informed that it was like a kind of silver color, you do think, starlight is about that color.
So she glowed like starlight. All right, he is not willing to accept at this point in time that there's a facade, that she is absolutely got to be a sister, and I resolute that we will get her on our side. So,
Right.
Is there anything that I might be able to do for you, fine folks?
Well, I mean, we did hear a rumor that Issa was looking for some silk sheets. If you could put in a good word, we could definitely use the upgrade too.
You understand that was not going to happen, right?
Well, I mean, no, because she was talking to the tailor.
Wow.
Huh, where we? Well, I guess they could have been wrong about that, and they're like, mumble to themselves for a moment. Like, not right now, but if we think of anything, we'll definitely let you know. Like, word on the street is you guys are adventurer types.
We are traveling out, preferably today, but we would definitely be coming back this way. Depends upon how
well,
this temple is.
if you happen to find like a lizard claw while you're out there, I could definitely use that.
You need just a lizard claw?
Yeah.
Are there desert lizards out there that you would prefer it come from, or you just need any old lizard claw?
I mean, one that looks like really gnarly would be preferable.
Gnarly?
I just need the bones.
Okay.
Cool.
I will see what I can do.
Thanks.
And I will then try to catch up to wherever this cartographer my brothers were off to.
All right, so you guys are going to the cartographer's shop. You guys will get there before Galason catches up to you. It's like you walk in and are overwhelmed by the scent of ink and Velacor. So like old book smell all over the place in here. There's this little gnomish woman that's like just sort of walking around, and every once in a while she'll like raise a hand and like a book will fly off the shelf and sort of like flap down to her, and she'll like make a note and then like put it back where it was. She can't reach hardly anything in here, but that doesn't seem to matter. And when you enter, she'll turn to you and she'll be like, welcome to the Map Emporium. Is there something that I can help you with?
Yep, we need a map.
Yeah.
I would hope so, since you're here. What do you need a map to?
We're going to the temple in the desert to get a rainbow feather.
Temple in the desert. I don't know anything about a rainbow feather, but there should only really be the one. And she's like,
glass?
that's the one. And she's like in a barrel and like throwing, maps over her shoulder, and they like catch in the air and just sort of like float over to the table.
Now, if you had a map to the place and of the place, that would be fantastic. But just to the place primarily, because we don't know how to get there, right? Like that's what we need the map to, right?
Nobody's been in that place in ages.
Well, get ready for a surprise, Map Emporium Purveyor. That's
like halfway in the barrel and her little feet are sticking out, and she like comes out with like a map in one of those little canisters, and she's like, found it!
Incredible.
Thank
Do you know where do you have an encyclopedic knowledge of these maps in the Map Emporium?
Oh, I do. They're all my maps. Well,
You
this one
made all
can be
these
yours.
maps?
Well,
That's amazing.
most of them. Yeah.
Wow. Have you been to all these places?
Oh, no. No. I take the information that is given to me by others, and I will use it to like illustrate the things that you've seen. And if you're going into the temple, I could sure use a map of the inside of it if you're willing to, share a memory or two.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't hurt. Okay.
I'd be happy to.
She holds out the map that she's got in her hands. This is the only copy that I've got. I can let it go for 300, and then I will give you 200 of that back if you will come back and help me chart a map of the inside of the temple. Good?
I don't think... I'm like, to Unga, I'm like, we don't even have that much in the party fund.
Oh, that could be a problem. I used all of my money to free the birds.
I know. I'll tell you what. What if I give you 199 gold and I'll pull out my little pewter dragon claw prism orb. I'm like, this artifact, this prism here was forged when a dragon breathed its fiery breath upon the dunes, and a master glassblower used these tools right here, which I have. And I'll show her those antique tools, like to craft this thing from dragon glass. That's got to be worth something.
Okay, give me a deceit roll.
Wow. Okay. Got +0. I'm going to charge it up with positive energy. Ooh, nat 20. I'll get.
Are you serious?
Oh,
my
nice.
God. All right, she's like, oh my God. Okay, so like, wow. Seriously, I honestly never heard of anything like that. This is like, that's a myth that not even I have ever heard of. And you have such an honest face, and she's like passing the map over and like looking this like orb over. She's
They
like,
say
yeah.
if you look just right, you can see the dragon's maw. I don't know. I've never seen it. It's like one of the. I think you got to relax your eyes, and like the image sort of appears there.
Well, I will let you know if I manage to make that work by the time you get back.
Yeah,
this is just
please.
collateral, and she like sets it on the desk, and she's like, I will watch that really carefully for you. This is about the time that Galason would be getting there.
So
yeah, just as I'm like, and 199.
So I'll take the map and start looking at it upside down.
There.
Like
Perfect.
reaches over and like
just as
turns
Galason's
it
coming in, I'm
over.
like, see, we had exactly enough in the party gold fund, brother.
Excellent.
Yeah, we got 8 silver left.
I have gleaned some information about our wayward sister.
Really?
I fully believe that Myth is not a facade, but that she legitimately is our sibling. And I go into the tale. I'll add detail, to how, to the starlight and what have you, just to, really ramp up, my belief in it, because clearly my memory got solidified as to what legitimately happened. I'm gonna walk over here because that's all I'm thinking about. This is what I was able to find out, and go into this whole tale about her summoning starlight of someone attacking her, and yep.
Your
Marcus.
skill navigating social situations is beyond reproach.
Marcus Rio.
Amazing.
She is our sibling and needs our help. So I am on board with Unga's plan of instilling all of us with enough confidence that she sees that we are on the right path.
And if this isn't more proof that we're on the right track, we had exactly enough gold left to our names to get this map to the Temple of Glass.
And the gnome like holds up a hand and is like, and it's collateral. If you help me map out the temple, I'll give it back. That's important. Like she just wants you to remember that.
Right.
So they're charging us all of our party funds to borrow a map.
This is the only map of the area. She made it. And this seems right up your alley, because you have a really good memory for your experiences. Nobody's ever been inside this Temple of Glass. Maybe not never. I mean, they must have built it. It was probably used for something. But not in a long time. So if we can accurately sort of take note of what it's like inside, that could be useful as well.
Did she say no one's ever been inside the temple, or no one's ever returned from the temple?
I think she said no one's ever been inside it. But, I mean, it's a Temple of Glass. You'd be able to see the danger from outside, so we should be all good. Right?
I don't know. You've made things out of glass that wasn't clear before.
You got a good point. We'll find out when we get there.
So how detailed a map are you looking for? Is this I didn't hear the description of the purveyor.
Oh, are we still in I guess we're still in the shop. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, it's this map right here, and I'll roll it out on Sheldon's back.
No. The map of the place that we're going. You're asking for us to make a map.
Oh, you don't need to make the map. I just need to look at your memory so I can draw the map.
You're not going to steal them, are you?
No, I just need to look at them. Because then I'll write it down and I won't need to steal them.
Do you look up through our noses or in our mouth, or can you see through our ears?
Through your eyes.
Ooh.
So, if this is the only map, but you made it, wouldn't you be able to make another one?
Yes.
Hey, you can't reproduce a masterpiece.
Well, maybe the person that she looked through their eyes isn't here. She doesn't have the eyes to look through.
She's like just tapping her fingertips together and,
Do you need-
you know...
Do you need the rest of the person or just their eyes?
I don't need to take anything. I just need to look at the memory. It's okay. You'll be fine.
I think it's another metafrog, Unga.
I'm not so fond of these metafrogs.
They are tricky.
What?
Well-
There aren't any frogs here.
A metafrog.
This is a cartography shop.
Metafrog, when you say one thing but mean another,
Oh, that's called a lie.
Do frogs tell a lot of lies?
Huh.
Maybe-
I guess they do.
well, I've heard that
They eat
grung
a
are
lot of
evil.
lies.
I've heard that grung are evil, so that would definitely make sense. Maybe that's where
Huh.
this comes from.
So, map, memories, collateral. I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Don't die.
How far away? I'll turn to Vent. How far away is this temple?
I look at it and I'm like, it's not that way. Probably gonna
Of course,
take
it's that way, but how far?
Looks like about. I don't know. Is there a thing on it that says
Yeah, there's
scale.
a thing on it. It's gonna be about 2 nights travel.
It's gonna be about 2 nights travel.
Do we have everything we need to travel several days in the distance? Do we have any idea of how big this place is? Are we going to be there for a while?
So the map you're holding, it's less of a a 2-scale thing by thing kind of map, and more of a you're passing this landmark, you're
Yeah.
passing this landmark kind of map.
Well, we don't have any money to buy supplies. We know our destination. Fully rested.
I'm going to assume at this point in time we've stepped out.
Yeah.
I still have quite a bit of coin, so
Oh.
if we were to need something, I would be able to pick that up. But I honestly don't know if there's anything that we need.
Our adventures thus far haven't featured rations or anything, but we are going into a dangerous environment.
Well,
That's because you guys
That's-
keep saying we supply for the journey, and I just trust that you're buying enough.
Sure. We
I
supply
am
for the
still-
journey.
I am still eating bird eater jerky personally. So
Cough up some coins and get us some gear.
so I mean, those kind of things. That's definitely a style of running the game if you want to nitpick on coins. But so if there's anything that you want, dear brothers, I imagine we need to get our sister out of bed. I believe she slept a little bit later than the rest of us.
Did you, Prudence?
Oh, yes.
Ah,
Oh, yes. I'm probably only just now getting up with some hot brown morning potion.
reasonable.
Well then, perfect. We
So
took care of all the stuff before we even got up.
I imagine Galason was, probably given a, shit-eating grin as he was saying that.
So, Prudence, before you leave, Issa will kind of pull you aside and be like, "You had better come back alive."
I intend to. Who knows?
Good.
Maybe I'll find something interesting while I'm there.
Tell me all about it.
Will do. And she just sort of leans in and gives her a kiss on the cheek, and then we'll ask if, do you know where we can buy some food to take with us?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of places in the bazaar.
Anything you recommend?
There's a fruit vendor. Got some dried, various things they keep really well, and they stay sweet the whole time.
Sounds excellent. Thank you. And I don't know when they get there. I don't know if I go get it beforehand or after or what, but
Oh, you've got plenty of time to, pick the fruit up and then meet them.
Yeah.
Probably run into them in the marketplace while they're in the process of buying their own supplies, just to streamline things there.
okay.
Is there any of those stands with the coconut cups and?
You mean like where they like hide one underneath like a coin or something
No,
underneath it?
no,
And, like,
we
switch it?
got them at Canopy. I liked them.
Oh, okay, no, they don't.
Do they have
the-
elephant ears in the market? If they're fun.
Elephant ears are the best.
They are. It's good stuff. So yeah,
No.
you can
What, rabbits? Rations. Oh my gosh. My
Right.
autocorrect put in rabbits. I guess we're having rabbits, guys.
oh dear. All right. So, you know, there's a guy in the bazaar that like tries to sell you a couple of camels.
Oh,
Like he's just like yelling after you as you're walking by.
so was it like 2 days travel on foot?
Yes.
Galatian looks at these camels, and it takes a effort to not sneer at, like camels are nowhere near a beauteous creature that horses.
No.
So like he's looking at like, all right, I used to ride Midnight, this gorgeous creature. Now you want me to ride that? Like,
Hey, Megan, let me ask you. So, even though my wisdom is terrible, I actually am trained in animal handling. Can I spot a particularly nice-looking camel that is like aesthetically pleasing that Sin might be, like just in the crowd, be like, "What? That one's pretty nice."
No, the camels this guy is trying to sell you. He only has 2, and they're on their last legs. Like they're not going to travel 2 miles before they keel over. Like.
Oh, well, I don't want to do that. Although Unga, you're the animal expert. What do you think?
I don't know. They don't look like they should leave the city. They don't look like desert camels. They look like city camels to me.
Galatian's trained in animal handling as well, so he actually knows what he's looking at.
Yeah.
I am not trained in animal handling.
No, this guy just took one look at you guys and thought you'd have no idea and that he could pawn these camels off on you is what's happening.
I don't know. I don't want to ride these fine beasts to their deaths out there.
And also, camels are expensive.
You are
There.
you are stretching the use of that word "fine" there, dear brother.
Do I run into them here?
I mean,
Yes. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
while this guy is like catcalling them with these camels.
Okay. Can I tell what's wrong with the camels? I'm trained in medicine.
Are you trained in animal handling?
I'm not trained in animal handling, but I am trained in nature.
Okay, so with medicine and nature together, they're old. Like, they're just old. Like,
Oh. Okay.
Hey,
they're
can
not
you ask the
sick or
camels what
anything,
they
they're
want to
just
do?
elderly.
That's so sad. I'll.
Can you
Prob-
ask them what they want to do? Maybe they want to go out in the desert.
I can do that if you give me a moment. But
I mean, if you want, I don't know.
I don't know. Just looking at them, they don't really look like they want to go into the desert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they want to, fade away into the great sunset beyond the dunes instead of this pen here. I don't know. I don't know what camels think. Or how
Ever
they-
the romantic, dear brother.
Can I look the camels in the eye and get a read on them?
They're like, they're just camels.
I mean, like, they're just tired. They're just kind of standing here and like done with this guy's BS. Like,
Even they're done with it.
I'll look Vent in the face. They will probably be dead tomorrow.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
They want to relax in their final.
Oh, that makes sense.
I did, however, procure us some food, and I've assembled 5 days worth of rations out of this dried fruit and stuff that I found in the market that was recommended for each of us.
I don't know, it seemed like a little package and stuff.
So, yeah.
Like,
that's cute, I like
I
that.
give each of them 5 days worth of rations, and I have 5 days for myself.
I trust you slept well, dear sister.
I did. Thank you. And she just sort of like puts a hand on your hand. She's like, she knows what you did.
Where do we get those silk sheets? Well, I'll be sleeping very good.
It's true.
Dear brother, I do hope that your flame goes out when you sleep, as silk sheets are highly flammable.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
You know, a lot of this is just aesthetic. Honestly, here, you can touch it. It's not hot. Gelson.
I'll warily put my hand near it.
It's just the aesthetic. It's not burning you.
Aha. Very pleasant.
Mm-hmm. Never have to cut it. It just kind of stays.
That explains why the marshmallows that we were attempting to roast never really turned brown.
Oh, that's right. Was that canon? I guess it is.
It was funny. All right. So you guys,
it's got plot heat.
you go.
You have to concentrate to make that happen.
Yeah, but I was sleeping.
You go through the desert, and it takes you a couple of days to get to this temple, but you do eventually get there. It's really arid, dry heat.
Love it.
It's just the sun is just beating down on you the entire time. It is relentless, except at night. And at night it gets really cold, stupid cold. But
what's the travel? Do I see any desert lizards?
Give me investigation.
Investigation, not perception.
I mean, go perception if you want to.
I would absolutely rather have a +1 than a -1. That is going to be a flat 10.
Not yet.
Okay.
So
I would have informed my siblings, about the hangers-on at the tavern and them looking for the remains of a desert lizard.
Wow.
All
We've
right.
got a lot riding on this quest. Lizard Fang, Rainbow Feather, add to our CV, and
Reputation.
we gotta get that 199 gold back because we are broke.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
perhaps if no one's been in this temple for some time, perhaps there is a substantial amount of wealth inside, and that alone will make us above board.
Well, the last temple we went into was kind of broke.
Yeah, it was actually quite sad to see those masks attack us. They could have fetched quite a price.
I know, and I lost a javelin back there. But we found some gems and stuff, didn't we? We found some treasure in there.
No, I think that was from
That
Bird
was
Eater.
that was Bird Eater.
I mean, I guess I could technically, and he pulls out this, the ring that he's wearing. We could always sell this if we needed to.
What you got there?
Oh, there's a ring that makes me look like I'm fancier than I am. In a
Okay, it's ring.
previous city, I could pass off as a duke if I needed to.
Oh, here's Charlotte's.
Interesting.
The temple. It's
You were at the dungeon entrance.
yeah. It's sticking out of the sand. It's all dark opaque glass.
I can't see through it.
No, you can't see through it. It's
Like stone.
really
That's
thick
weird.
Coke bottle glass, right?
Ooh.
And so you've got most of the towers on this temple look like they're just aesthetic, but there's the center area that's kind of like the cylinder around the middle, and the door is blisteringly hot.
Is it above ground?
Yeah.
Wow, so it hasn't been buried all these years. There's strong magic here. Siblings. Careful.
So do we see any obvious way of entrance?
Yeah, there's a door. It's just it's so hot that the air in front of it is kind of rippling.
Is it got a handle on it or anything? I mean, is it?
Yeah, there's
Is it? Wait. Is there any tracks or anything around here? Or does it look like this is just undisturbed desert around?
It looks like undisturbed desert. It's also pretty windy around here, though. The tracks, you being, as versed as you are, the tracks wouldn't remain long if there were
Right.
any, but there's a so it's like this round mechanism, and you would have to like kind of reach into it, like grab the
Oh, cool. Yeah.
the grip in the middle, and then just sort of turn it.
Yeah. Guys ready to embrace your destinies?
I think maybe we should check and see if there's like no one's been here before, right? So like it wasn't that hard to get to. I want to search around to see if there's any like traps or anything.
Okay.
Did I assist him?
Yes.
Do you want perception or investigate?
Either or.
All right, then I will definitely use perception. It is a 12 or a 14. I'll go with the 14.
All
Wise
right.
choice. Wise choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So like you notice that like the sand right directly in front of the door, like it's just kind of like leaning inward, and there's just sort of divot there that like it shouldn't be.
I'll get my great axe and kind of like try and use it like a shovel, standing back a ways and.
As
So,
he's
like-
doing that, I will hand him a shovel.
You know there is an easier means. And I sort of swipe my hand and mold earth it away.
So like as you guys are, you know, faffing with this sand, like you notice that there is in fact a trapdoor in front of the main door of this temple. Like, and that's like what the sand is kind of falling into. It just like double doors that would like fall inward, and you're not sure, but you have a strong suspicion that it's got some connection to the grip handle there.
I
I was
wonder
totally
if there's
gonna just walk
anything valuable inside. Can we force it open and look below?
So it looks like something, if you turn that thing, a trap door opens under the door?
Yeah, okay, so door,
Yeah.
trap door.
Yeah.
If you open the door, it's gonna drop
Yeah,
out
right.
from under you.
Right.
So I want to reach into the mechanism. What do I feel inside? Well, I will look first and then reach in. What do I see in there?
All right, so like you can see like some ropes and things, but they don't look like they're actually made of rope or like fibers or anything like that. There's definitely some metal in the construction, like a chain of sorts, but like more like a metal rope than an actual chain. There are no links to it. And they sort of like thread into like the walls of the temple, like somebody has drilled holes and stuff.
Wow.
But if you look really closely, like you can kind of see like a shaft of light on the inside and like a little bit into the corridor beyond.
Oh, so there's no like obvious like lever that this is going to open this door.
Well, okay, so like the mechanism, it's like there's a circle and then there's like a stick, but the stick is also made of glass, and if you like grab onto the stick and like torque it, like that's going to move the ropes and things. It
Okay.
will probably open the drop down door, and it also will open the standing door.
Would it also make a really dramatic, like, ancient tomb opening sound? Like,
Well, it will now.
There's only one way to know for sure.
Yeah.
So I will reach in and grab that bar,
Okay.
put my feet up against the door, so I'm kind of
Okay.
like hanging, and then
So
I
you
will
fall.
twist it.
All right, so like the drop down, like it opens underneath you, but you don't fall into it, and you guys are able to like see into the bottom. There's like, it drops down into what appears to be a corridor down there, and there are a couple of like corpses, like skeletons. One of them is wearing some kind of rusty armor. One of them's like just a skeleton, really. Like whatever he was wearing at one point is long since worn away, but like just two Skelebros down there.
Skeletons.
Is there
We've
anything
already
valuable?
solved one mystery. There have been people inside the temple.
So I call hey Vent, in my pack I got some spikes. Maybe you can spike those doors so they stay open.
Can I reach? Am I tall enough to lean over the pit and get the things out of his pack while he's hanging onto the door?
How tall are you?
Like 7'2" or something. Like
Yes. I didn't realize Vint was that tall.
So yeah, because I'm picturing he's still like gripping onto that thing, so I'm just like rummaging around in his pack, and I will get them out.
I was not aware that Vent was that tall either, so.
No.
Oh my goodness. That makes a difference.
He's the biggest one in the party, that's for sure. I thought I was tall at 6'7".
I did not think you were that tall either, dear Lord.
I'm a half-orc. Of course I'm that tall.
Okay, how tall is Galason and how tall is Prudence?
I think I'm 5'10".
Okay, that's average. Prudence, how tall are you?
Features and traits, description.
Yes.
5'10".
Okay, so like that is very tall for a woman. All right, so like this is the land of the giants, is what I'm gathering. You guys are very tall people. Okay, well I'm glad I know this now. Just like go back and rewrite your memory of like your interactions with many of these NPCs and them being like about 15% more intimidated.
Yeah, but we're nice.
The important question: how heavy is Vint?
Like 325 pounds or something like that. Yeah.
So, thin?
Yeah. That would be kind of thin.
That would be thin.
Mm-hmm. I don't imagine him. He's he's not a beefcake, dude. He's just tall.
He's built like a basketball player.
Yeah, he's like Shaq.
Boom.
Wow.
Maybe he's more slender though. I think.
I would think so.
Yeah, Shaq is pretty broad.
Hey, you don't know what fire genasi physiology is like?
Well, that's true.
Okay, so you have the spikes.
They're lighter because they're full of hot air.
Shaq is
stand in the
shorter
corner.
than me, and he weighs 1 pound less. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was our point.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, that was our point. You're taller. That means you're leaner.
Yeah.
If he only weighs 1 pound less. The important intricacies of D&D.
Yes.
So I'm still just kind of floored that Ben is that tall.
We got the rope.
All right, so what do you want to do?
So
We go into danger.
if Unga is actually down in the thing, can we sift through the sand at all and see if there's anything that has survived the trials of time that might be worthwhile? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Like, okay, so what you've got is Unga is like hanging on to the door here and like holding on to the mechanism. The two trapdoors are open. I believe Vint is pinning them open as we speak. So like there is a hallway down there. Just there are also corpses. So it's about a 10-foot drop.
What did they die from? The fall? You think?
Prudence, can you use your thing again and wipe away the sand so we can see what's directly beneath it?
But you can see the sand isn't like trickling in so badly that it's obscuring your vision or anything.
Okay, so it's not like piled up on the ground.
No. It's just like sifting in like just little bits.
Okay, so I will let go of the mechanism, grab the lip, as I fall, and then just drop down.
Okay. So, solid ground. It's a little sandy down here. And now that you're down there, you can see very clearly that, like, both of these skeletons have, like, broken shins.
Okay, then we're going to spend a couple minutes going, come on, I'll catch you. I promise I won't let you fall.
And he's, like, doing this, like, scuttle thing where he's, like, about to jump and then stops and backs up. And then, like, he's about to do it again, kind of like a dog that's about to get in the pool but isn't sure about it.
Yeah.
So, I imagine that Galason is behind waiting, and I'm trying to like eye up Unga to like, hey, do you want me to push? Do you want me to shove? But it's entirely nonverbal communication, so not even sure if Unga is paying me attention or understanding.
Or can see you through Sheldon.
That too.
Yeah, so if there's anything down there, probably I'm distracted. Until I get Sheldon down here.
All right, so, like, eventually he does come down. Do you catch him?
Yes, of course.
All right, how are the rest of you handling this? Prue, do I even have to ask?
I just like jump and flare my wings toward the end to like cushion the fall.
Is it like 10 feet or so?
Yeah, it's just a 10-foot drop.
I mean, I can just like probably like hold on to Galeason's arm and sort of like lower him down there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna, just kind of do an acrobatic flip kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't know you were there. Yeah, please.
I mean, I'm dexterous, so I mean,
You
flipping
do like backflip.
not that big a deal. I mean, that's a 14 acrobatics check.
All right, so yeah, I can get to the bottom just fine, like in style.
I'm just gonna like sit down on the edge and then scoot over the edge and then just hang and grab.
All right.
So probably not even drop, probably just hang and then like, oh, my feet are.
Because Vint is very tall.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, these two skeletons with their broken shins, and they're like, one of them is absolutely snapped. Like, just these guys did not have a fun time down here.
What do you think they died of?
I wouldn't know.
I'm not sure. Can I check and see if the skeletons have anything useful on them? I mean, they were clearly going here, so they might have been prepared in some way.
Yeah, you can absolutely go ahead and check the skeletons out. So are you like touching them to rummage through?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
I figured, but I was like, I really want to poke the bear here.
Yeah, just when she's like, so you touch the skeletons, I'm like, they're gonna animate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was like, yes, absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Cause the trouble. I'm that player. Sorry.
Yeah, oh, hey.
I think we all are.
Yeah, it's like, who's gonna trigger?
That's half the fun of the game.
All right. So I put it in the chat for initiative.
Oh, good idea.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Oh gosh, let me hold this up. Here we go. Vint, did you kill me?
Why?
Oh, no, Vint doesn't kill me. Prue kills me. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't
Yeah,
be.
that is real
Totally
tall.
makes
Wow.
sense, though.
I was clearly more concerned with what I could find.
It does. It makes total sense.
We got a natural 1, guys. That turns into
Alright.
a 3.
So, Galeason, you're up first.
So what do we see happening?
All right, so you see, she puts hands on one of these skeletons, and it starts, like, moving a little bit, and, like, the other one starts shuffling when the one next to it does. The snapped bits of the bone are just kind of, like, sliding back into place, but they're still broken. They're just, like, kind of, being held together by whatever magic is stopping the rest of the bones from falling apart without any sinew to hold them in place,
That old chestnut.
So there's 2 of them.
Yes, there's 2 of them.
All right. Can I get both of them in a line from where I am without hitting anyone else?
Thank you.
I mean, Prudence is like right on top of one of them, so it's gonna be a trick and a half. I'm gonna go with no. Like you can't catch them both without also catching Prudence.
Okay. All right. Well then, I mean, how much darkness is down here?
It's I mean, aside from where you're standing, it's like really dark down the hallway, but you've got direct sunlight over top of you where you are right now.
So, Galeason reaches towards the darkness in the hallway, and he just conjures 3 orbs of blackness and blasts into the one that's closest to Prudence for 8 points of force damage.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right.
I know, I'm digging the visual a lot.
Yeah. So it's gonna like get rattling to its feet, and like the rusty armor that it's wearing kind of creaks a little bit as it like expands, and the skeleton just straight up ignites. Like the whole thing is on fire now.
Oh my gosh!
And it's going to take a swing at Prudence since she's like right there.
Makes sense.
Oh geez. I'm gonna assume a 21 hits.
Yes.
Alright. Alright, so that's going to be 3 piercing damage and 4 fire damage.
Okay,
And then
is that
Vent is
before
up.
my resistance?
That's before your resistance, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is kind of like tight quarters, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
just like, right, yeah. So I don't have a lot of room to swing my maul. I am going to get tail out, though, and be like, Papa never showed me this one, and I'm going to just try to, like, sort of, like, get myself between them and Prudence, because I don't want them to hurt her, and just sort of, like, kind of jab it down at the head of the skeleton, like my maul. Just sort of.
What you could do is you kind of almost use it like a pole arm, and then when you go to swing, aim low.
Yeah, I want to do it on its head. Come
Sure.
down, just like. And I'm going to use.
Just use it like you're shooting pool. Be like, bop.
Yeah, but I'm using my.
You're right.
You can imagine it any way you want, but I am coming straight down, and that is a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
And that is 7. I'm not raging. 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So, you know, like you hit it pretty good there. You would take 1 fire damage, but I'm pretty sure you've got resistance, so I don't think you would in that case.
I'm okay if you want to have like a minimum of 1, or I don't.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Unga, you're up. I'm just like letting you know that like the flames kind of like reach out for you. It just doesn't do anything. Sorry, Unga.
Tickles.
All right, so
Yeah, tickling flames, guys. Be careful.
I tell Sheldon to circle to the side, but be careful because you're extra tasty with that much fire going around. And so Sheldon's only going to just use the dodge action while I whack it with my great axe.
Right, does that have reach?
It does not have reach. It is just a great axe. And that probably doesn't hit because that's an 11.
No, that does not hit. All right, so no, you don't hit. And then that thing doesn't proc because other reasons. So the other skeleton, getting to its feet, also sets itself on fire. It's gonna take a swipe at Unga because you know you're the guy with the big axe. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
Okay, so like. You know, the blow goes wide, like embers coming off of the sword that is like now on fire, and Prudence is up.
Oh, okay. So I will, you know, just kind of shockedly, like, kind of go, ah, and then whack it with my staff. Sorcery. 16 plus 4, 20, dirty 20?
Oh, that hits.
Okay. So, dirty 20 with that, that's a d8. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this die roller here. Roll that. Ooh, I got an 8 plus 2. So 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so you whack the skeleton, the flames just like flicker a little bit and then go out, and it like falls in a pile of charred bones.
Oh, okay.
Gleason, you're back up.
Can I do a roundhouse kick on the other one?
Oh, that's right. You're a monk. Yes, you can.
Yes, I am. Okay, so roll another d20. And that's a natural 2 plus 4, 6. Doesn't hit, I'm pretty sure.
No, it definitely does not. All right. Gleason, now you're up.
So I see that these things are, you know, on fire and whatnot, and cold is the opposite of flame. So he reaches further down the tunnel with his arcane magic, because you know the area area here is, got the sun overhead, got flame. I need the cold shadows, so I blast the closest one to me with a ray of frost.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20, so
Okay.
Woo!
that is 2d8 cold damage. So that is a whopping 7 because I rolled like crud, and its speed is reduced by 10.
All right, so like you hit this thing with your frost, and like you notice that like a lot of the flames that are already on it start like flickering like mad when you hit it, and it seems to do more damage than you thought it was going to, considering the power of like what you just threw at it.
That is what I was hoping for.
Vince.
I am going to. I got a little more room to maneuver now, so I'll give another swing with tail here. That is a 13.
No, that does not hit.
It's not enough room to get a good arc.
Unga.
Well, so my first shot was just a warm up, and that is a dirty 20.
Woo!
With the great axe.
Nice.
And that's going to be 16 points of damage.
Nice.
Yes, okay. So, how are you swinging with your axe here? Like,
well, seeing how they are, made of bones and there's no meat to cut into, he swings like he normally would, but at the last minute flips the flat to smash it into its rib cage and trying to like drive it up against the wall.
okay. So like you get it and it hits that wall, and then like there's an audible cracking sound, and like the bones just sort of like cascade, to the dusty floor of the bottom of this pit hall. And you are now once again alone in the quiet of this dank, crypty hallway.
Hey, brothers and sister, we are casting bones.
We are indeed.
Do you think those things will reanimate?
Oh, that's a good question. I take my axe and start trying to spread them out, all the individual bones.
With tail. I'll sort of like swish it around in the sand.
So is it like a full skeleton, and was it walking on its broken shins, or did the actual feet like connect?
The dark arcane energy that animated also held its bones together.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna take a. There's a lot of bones in the wrist. I'm gonna grab one of them.
Ooh. Gonna take a necromantic.
Okay.
Those two
It's
trees are
very
okay
charred. like you've seen bones that have been like on a spit and stuff, like when you actually like have it roasting over a fire and things. It's like very black, cracked, like, but you get it. You get like a solid piece of the wrist there.
I'm looking for a piece that I might be able to make a die out of.
Okay. All right, the bones in the wrist are pretty small, but if you go a little bit further up the arm, I'm sure you can like break a piece off, and like it would be a lot easier to like carve from there. And it's also a lot less charred because there's like more to.
Sure, that works.
Can I take the skulls and still search them?
Yeah. Like the armor's still there, like the gear that they were wearing is still there, if a little bit singed. You do find like a singed leather purse with like about 10 tarnished and partially charred gold pieces in it.
Does their tattered garb, I'll ask my siblings, like, does this look like any recent, like, current fashions from this plane?
Have
wearing?
Any info?
Been here long, or the?
Oh, it's give me. Is history still a thing?
Mm-hmm.
History.
Mhm.
I would have no idea. I'm not even from.
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
history.
That's just a flat 10.
Okay. Like even with just a 10, like you'll know when you're looking at old fashioned when you look at it. This is not anything that anybody's worn in several decades.
This is not anywhere near current, dear brother. I think I think I recall a time when some lesser house was visiting wearing something, and my uncle was scoffing behind their backs at such a outdated fashion. Right?
Really? Even Gallison's like 100 years old too, isn't he?
No, I'm only 28.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were like.
No, half elf.
Oh, yes.
I try to act elven to be.
Okay. You did a good job. I thought you were.
Sold him on it. So how does the gear look for being so old?
Actually, not terrible. It was functional for the skeleton that was wearing it. Like, it's very outdated, but if you wanted to take it,
I'm going to take the clothes and put them in my pack.
Yeah.
In case we go to a party. You said a noble wore it, right?
He was made fun of.
Oh. This isn't good noble garb.
No. And the fact that the edges are singed.
Well, most of my clothes have stains on them.
Dear brother, if you really require fancier attire, I can certainly help with that.
Well, maybe when we get back.
Well, yes, I'm not
Yeah, let's go back to town and pick us up a tailor.
Hey,
We need to look super good for when we find this rainbow feather.
he assumes Gaislin has just got it in his pack.
Yeah.
It's because
No.
Myth is scrying on us. We have to look our best.
Never know.
I always look my best.
You say, oh yeah, I'm always gonna think that.
All right. What are your passive perceptions?
13.
12.
11.
Nine.
I thought I was trained.
Wow. All right. So, Unga, I believe you are the one that has the highest passive. You're the one that notices like some slight glinting from the other end of the hall down in the deeper shadows.
Oh, look, shiny. And a point.
Can I? Wait, there's something shiny in the hallway.
Yeah, there's something glinting down there at the end of the corridor.
Can I?
Like water reflecting or coins?
It's definitely it's more like water reflecting than coins.
I'm gonna make a produce flame and baseball pitch it down the corridor so that it will, at least for a second, maybe illuminate.
All right, so it's a 40-foot long hallway, about 10 feet across. As you throw this ball of flame down the corridor, it bursts into the door at the end, and on either side there are two mirrors that flank each other at the end of this hallway.
There's there's 4 people and another giant crab down at the end. Did you see it? I saw it for a second.
Oh my.
Looking at us.
Should we prepare ourselves for more combats?
I'm always prepared for that.
Let's go check it
Have you
out.
seen these weapons?
That is true.
I slap Sheldon on the shell. Eyes peeled, buddy.
Maybe not so wise to have the crab being told to be peeled.
Disgruntled chittering.
I will. I mean, if you want, I could take the. If we need a marching order, I'll go first. If you want. I've got a sense about danger, you guys.
Sure, I'll follow you.
All right. I will walk down towards that thing, maul in hand, just sort of
Is this hallway 5 foot or 10 foot wide?
It's 10 foot.
Then we can go side by side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll just, not too, just cautiously, but.
Just two dudes walking down the hallway in a dungeon.
All right.
So yeah, when we're kind of earshot, I'm
Sounds
like
like the setup to a joke.
So I'll keep some frost in my hand, ready to loose. There's combatants right down the hallway.
So you guys, you get to the end of this hallway, and there's this door just there, and there's a keyhole, but it appears to be in the shape of one upside down triangle and one right side up triangle, just kind of stacked that way. And then there are two mirrors to your right and two mirrors to your left, and they've got these sheer curtains so that when you threw the fireball, like you could kind of see the reflection off of it, but like you're not looking directly at yourself through the curtain just yet.
That's a weird place for a mirror.
Well, it is the Temple of Glass, and mirrors are sort of like reflective glass.
So
Maybe
where do you think these others went? I don't see them.
Do you suppose this is some sort of magical trap?
Well, now that you said that, yeah.
Do you think the people who were here before us got pulled into the mirrors?
I'm kind of afraid to look now.
Now I gotta see, and I pull back one of the curtains and look into the mirror.
All right. So,
Galayson's looking around to try and find the four people in the crowd.
Unga, are you right or left, first of all?
I am on the right side and kind of like peeking around.
So are you looking at the mirror that is closer to the like hole that you just came through, or closer to the door?
Okay, they're apart that way. Whatever mirror I would have encountered first.
Okay, cool. So
Wait. They're not next. I thought they were like on either side of the. That's not it.
No, they're on the walls.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right. So when you look into this mirror, you see a reflection of yourself, but the reflection of yourself that you see is like significantly worse somehow. You see like yourself, but like what you would have been if you had stayed with the gang, you know, like you're wearing like the same colors. You've got like this really big heavy like bashing weapon on you. You're like you know, just whatever it is that you would have been if you had, you know, been your worst self.
So I kind of like reel back from that a little shaken. I'm like, I don't like what I saw in there. Don't look.
Are you all right?
It's weird. It was a different me. It reminded me of the bad gangs.
So when Unga says "Don't look," Galayson says, "Why not?" and look.
And again, it's like you are looking, just right into the eyes of the worst version of yourself. Like, what does that look like?
So I would imagine that, you know, Galayson loves new experiences. That's kind of one of the reasons why he likes to be a whore, I guess, but also why he adventures. So it probably has gone to excess. So probably sees himself, you know, drunk on drugs and in, you know, absolute disarray. Does not look like he's taken care of himself, you know, in any way, shape, or form. Probably, you know, passed out in some, you know, inn, or maybe even, you know, in an alleyway somewhere, you know, bottle in some kind of, you know, pouch full of powder, you know, lying at his side, and he's gonna like reel back in horror, probably throwing up at the sight of all of this.
All right, so you guys have 3 other mirrors that are still covered by these curtains, but it is 9:50, so we should probably be wrapping up at about this point. So I'm going to assign you homework for next week.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what it is after we're out of here.
Oh,
But
I was like, what is?
Ready to write it down.
Secrets.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So with that, as the DM says, we're going to be wrapping things up. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. You can find links in the pin post where you can find Megan R. Miller as well as Stephen Partridge. You can find their books over on Amazon. That's where the links are. Stephen also has a YouTube channel. You can find Megan R. Miller on Goodreads, but I have not added that link yet. But that will be a new one to look for, and we'll be back next week the same time. Thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Thank you everyone for playing, and until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.